Hey guys, what's up everyone? A few days ago I came with this video, coming outside this door with huge icicle falling from the ground, or falling to the ground, from the roof, I should say. My correction. But yeah, few days ago I came out, some huge icicle falling to the ground, and I was wowed, I was very shocked to see all that ice, melt. And those icicle farm so quick, hanging down, and they were pretty heavy. Check out that video on my channel. There was one that was uploaded yesterday 5 p.m. And there should be one the second one, previewing 5 p.m. this evening, few minutes away, probably, to say right now. So this video is in real lifetime. I just had to come with one. I thought that this was just gonna be a 2-part video, but no, here is the 3-part video of of the following up of what actually happened. I had to come with this one. I could not let it go by and not follow through with this one. Cause you cannot make this up. You can't make this thing up. And in those previous video, as you may see, if anyone have already see the one from yesterday. A lot of these icicles were falling from the ground in the moment. Like you see this one here. My little broom guy here that I was using to break it apart was stuck to the ground a while ago, as you can see. But check this out, YouTube. This is what I came for. Because many people may see this video and see the video previous and would have guessed that this was about to happen. This was born to happen. But check that, guys. Check that out. This is the 3rd time this gutter had fallen off. We get this lighting better. But yeah, it's the 3rd time it had fallen off. And it's crazy. This time in its real moment, you still have solid ice. Look at that. Look at this, guys. Look at this thing. And I expressed there was some leaves. So, like for example, there was a little debris in the gutter, that I didn't got. That, end up got frozen. So, for example, here. So, this could have been, a big part of the reason to say, but as I expressed in the video, that we got so much snow and it got frozen so quick and heavy on the roof that it wasn't even getting a chance to melt. So it was just piling up. So as you can see, I can't even move this piece of ice. Here we go. That's how big that piece of ice was. So that was coming from the gutter. So as you can see, the compress, of debris. A little bit of basically it's almost just leaves, and run off. In the very end, I didn't get to go and blow out the leaves from the gutter. As you can see, we have a ton of these trees hanging over the roof. So needless to say that I have to wait on the very end to get the leaves out, and you may get some out in the early fall, but then all the way down to the end, you have situation like this where the the last few leaves that left on the trees, and all that little extra branch and twigs, create that extra build up in the gutter. But check this out, guys. You know, this is just crazy. That's all ice. Look at that. So the gutter is basically still wedged to the ground. And I still have my bag here with some soil, some organic cow manure, you know, frozen in time. We got big Richie horse here, you know, kind of a bit frozen in time as well. You know, you can see it's moving a bit, but yeah, all these extra ice. Look at that. I mean, I just need to get a grip. I can lift it, but you know, it's not. That's a lot of ice. So I can imagine all this weight that was hanging in the gutter, because all this is new and fresh ice that came from it since it fell. You know, it's kind of hard into the ground. You can move this part here. As you can remember, the other day I was tossing some ice up here in previous video. There's still solid ice, these ones. This I just toss. You know, too much energy. But guys, you cannot make this up, you know. This was the one that I stand from that giant icicle. This was one icicle, guys. You know, this was the top part that was hanging from the gutter. You know how big that thing is. And then, you know, breaking off, coming down, you have these pieces come right down to the end. As you can see, this is more of the smaller part going down. So imagine this, guys. See if I can move it. Look at that, hanging from the roof by just melting ice dripped in, you know, from snowfall. And this monster here being the top of it, that coming off the gutter. And as you can see, that is the result. The whole section of this gutter got ripped off again. Yeah. Look at that. So from today, as icicle, I'm just like extra snow that was melting today. But imagine it was something like this, forming from the gutter and keep building up. As you know, I could see one of them drip earlier in real time. They were still dripping, and you know, that's how they keep forming, you know. The ice melts slowly, and then just basically freezing time by the moment it could fall on the ground, you know, I could even get a chance to fall. They keep building up on each other, you know, which form icicle, basically. So these are just many tiny things now, opposed to what have happened here. Yeah, this is just crazy. It's another piece of ice. So as you can see, you know, it's a deep gutter, you know. This is totally damaged. I was already thinking maybe I use it to cut it up in few smaller pieces and, you know, use it for growing. You know, maybe you know, some small raised bed type of thing. You know, and I put them beside each other and make a whole a little growing space. Put organic soil in it and just grow organic veg. Maybe just more up off the ground, you know, like build a stand. So that's my intention. I already thought of, you know, utilizing this zinc, you know, metal gutter for, instead of putting it to waste. Because I remember the last time it happened, not last year, year before last, the same thing happened. That one was shredded, that you can't imagine that YouTube, it was literally shredded, like just twist up and just ripped apart in like so much pieces. You couldn't imagine like a metal, was twist up and ripped up apart in that way, just from the ice frozen in it. Same thing fell off. So this one is not so bad, You see, most of it is intact, especially this part here. May be able to utilize as I express. Start to come down further right here, as you can see more with more rumble. Last time it was basically this right through, and some of it was just ripped, and you have sharp exposed metal. So that one was just scrapped, and got tossed away. But, let's check it out. It's all solid ice underneath this thing. So it's still, you haven't even got a chance to melt. And actually this fell down, I think, yesterday. So basically not even that much long after I made the video. So basically within hours, so I'm sure many of you would even put it into thought already. Like, I can't help but think that this could have actually fell while I was out here, stamping on those icicles. And you see, when this one fell on the ground, basically fell right beside my feet and break apart. The shock and it falling on the ground basically rolled against my feet, so I felt it, basically. I could have gotten hurt even in that moment, but needless to say, all this weight that was on this gutter that have came down while I was making this video that day, that wouldn't have been pretty, guys. So I have to give thanks for that. Thanks to the Most High that we never have any dangerous incident happen during that time. Because look at that, guys. That's all this weight, basically why. So I'm assuming that when I was making that video, that was basically just frozen wedge along with the ice that was melting, with the compact of snow that was on it. Basically why it didn't fall off. So as we get a slightly warmer day, it got release. So then all the pressure, and all the weight from all this ice just let loose, and just way down in the gutter. Hence, it didn't have the extra frozen ice and the support that was coming off the roof itself, So I felt all that was frozen together. And then when that release from the extra the little warm that we get, all that extra weight just came crashing down on this thing, ripping it off, So this is why we have another video, I don't make it too long. But guys, it's crazy to just put into thought right now. Look at all this ice. And in thought, previous winter we never have so much snowfall. Hence, it's basically water and rainfall in the winter time, Just that it's cold, so it turns into ice. We do need that for the soil, We need that for spring coming. We need that for the growth. We need that for people who have well. So, winter is important, and people mention about global warming. Not a scientist, there's some speculation as to that though, whether that is true or not, but we do need the earth the revolve and its natural way and its natural access as how it go each year. You know, and winter in this sense is important. You know, as for me, I feel like we should all migrate just most like all the animals. You know, when they go crazy in winter, because it's like we don't belong here. You know, but you know we are soldiers, we are survivors. So hence we stay back and fight against these elements. You know, but this one is just crazy, guys. You know, you can't make this up. You know, go check out my other video. You know, we have this the second part 2 premiering 5 p.m. shortly here. If it's not 5 already, I'm here running this video. And it was getting close to 5 p.m. So I came out here before it gotten too dark, you know. But Nick here from Yardman Garden and Arts TV. You know, go check out this video. Share your thoughts with me. You know, and maybe share your experience and what I could do in the near future or for the next gutter that we install to prevent this from happening again. You know, I'm already thinking a leaf guard type of gutter. You know, even if I don't get that expensive fancy leaf guard, I one of the company to come install it, but just looking into it and watch some video on how that process go and try to imitate something and create, you know, even just having some mesh, you know, running over this just to prevent all this extra leaf. But you know, it is not a cheap replacement. You know, it is a nice handful of money. So to keep having it repeating so often, you know, it's a waste and just can be, you know, more dangerous at some point. You know, because you know, at this time of year, we don't really access this area that much. You know, we don't have much reason to come out here, and I'm not really growing any food, as in sometime I have done in previous time. You know, I have vegetable that I could come out here at this time to harvest, but we don't have that going right now, so it's less likely we are out by this side, this time of year. So still could have been dangerous to someone, you know, so don't want to have this keep repeating. So share your thoughts with me. I can share my videos, you know. And as I express, this series for me is just a part of my experience here living in America. Coming here from the Caribbean, you know, I haven't seen these before. I remember when I came here 2013, it was March, it was already spring, and it was still the coldest I felt in my life, you know. So imagine the transition and all this. So for me here in the Yardman Garden, you know, really is mostly about gardening and you know, art in that sense, yeah. But you know, living off the land. And but these videos just a you know, local winter vlog series. You know, me just living and sharing my experience in the moment. You know, as anyone that may relate, you know, and people from the Caribbean, I find it interesting to see this, you know, in real time, that you know, you literally leave your bottle of water in your car and it get frozen. So basically we're literally living in a refrigerator, you know. You walk outside, you're literally in a deep freeze, and you're in a freezer that is more colder than the regular freezer in your house. And that's no joke, because most freezer at a peak of winter is not turned on no below or no minus zero, or you know, any temperature like that. You know, you literally have a cold beer, you know, like what, 40? You know, I don't remember how, you know, where they keep temperature like around that, you know, 40 degree or 44, you know, around whatever. But 32 is freezing, you know, and anything below, then obviously you go in below freezing. But 32 is where freezing start, you know. And not sure what the temperature is right now exactly, but you know, these are not no normal weather, normal temperature. And I don't feel in the sense it's necessarily healthy for people, and that's why, you know, people get older And they migrate to places like Florida, you know, warmer weather, because you know you feel this shit in your bone, you know, after a while. You know, young or old, you know. They take a toll on you. Obviously when you're younger you can get not beaten more, but as the years goes you can start to feel these type of effect more. But yeah, this is no joke. So yeah, this is number 3 of our video series. Definitely wasn't intended, and now we're at 20 minutes. Wasn't even intended to go that long, but this is Nick here from Yardman TV. Subscribe to my channel, guys. Like and share my content. You know, spring is gonna be beautiful. I'm gonna have some exciting garden content to come and share with you guys, you know. You know what I mean? So stay tuned. Look forward to nice video coming and interested content. And appreciate whoever has been here. You know, if you're new to the channel, you're welcome. And to all who've been supporting me over the years, even when there's not a lot going on, you know. I appreciate you for sticking around and being a part of the journey. So peace and love to everyone. And we still have this this thing hanging off the light fixture here, so to show you how much not much of melted. So I still left that there and it's still sitting. So yeah, guys, that is my gutter right there. It's now all mangle and wrangle and dangle and jangle, and right up in here is tangle on the ground, you know. So the joke's on me on this one, and I will take the laughter. But yeah, catch you guys on the next video. Peace. Blessing you guys. I'm out.